It's finally here, finally. Well, it's actually not the one that I ordered. It's the one that Clay ordered, and I really had to twist his arm so badly that it broke in order to get it, because this is the one with your name on it, right?
It is. I ordered this for my dad and I.
But it's the exact same one, and then you, here, come step here. You had a little accident. Y'all remember Clay? He was normal before, so what did you do?
Well, I ended up breaking my elbow into a few pieces.
And how'd you do that?
Well, I was sliding down a banister railing.
At our age.
At our age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I retired from banister riding.
The good news is you can't drive this thing because of the broken arm and painkillers, so you're able to give this one to me, which I really appreciate it. Yes, I've got it. I've waited long enough. Thank you so much, Clay. I can't really, I guess we're left-handed shake.
Yeah.
And yeah, Robbins Motors, they'll definitely take care of you if you need a new Gladiator or any kind of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep product. They'll hook you up. So I really appreciate it. I'm excited to drive this thing, and then I'll give my impressions and then give it a Doug score. Awesome. Well, I won't do that, but I'll do something. So I'm going. You got all your money? You got your check?
Yes? I got a check.
All right, thank you so much. It's here. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's here. Finally have a Gladiator. It's finally mine, even though it isn't really mine. It doesn't have my name on the window sticker, but that doesn't matter. I kind of feel bad that a guy's arm literally had to break for me to get one. Otherwise, I probably would have had to wait a few more weeks, and it was already 70 days. 70 days from the time I ordered this and traded in my GMC pickup truck. But anyway, all the problems with ordering this Gladiator aside, it is totally worth it. Now that it's here, it meets all of my expectations, all of my hopes and dreams, and exceeds it. Now, to briefly recap the other issues I had with this Jeep, which I described in a previous video, I ordered it on April 4th, on National 4x4 Day, I think it was. That's when Jeep decided to release for 24 hours the way to order this Gladiator Launch Edition, and I accidentally ordered two, and then there was a little bit of a jostle to get it to the dealership that I wanted. I had one dealership texting me saying I may not get it unless I buy it through them, or make sure. I don't know, it was a little weird, but eventually I got it to the dealer I wanted, and then I waited, and I waited, and I waited for 10 weeks. Eventually, during this long wait, Gladiators began pouring into dealerships all over the state, but they weren't mine, and they weren't launch editions. It seems Jeep had a little marketing shrewdness going on with their launch editions, as they got all the die-hard Jeep fans that gots to have a Gladiator to put down their orders, plunk down their trade-ins or deposits, but then they weren't the first Jeeps to be built. Before the launches, they built several regular Gladiators, mostly Rubicons, well-equipped ones, and well-equipped sports, and started delivering them en masse to dealers. So imagine my frustration when I'm driving by Jeep dealerships all over the state and seeing a Gladiator. I could walk in and buy a Gladiator right there, but I couldn't. I had to wait because I plunked down for a launch edition, which I thought was supposed to be the first Jeeps to be delivered. But they weren't. They weren't launch editions. They were more like sucker editions, because the people ordering them were suckers. At least that's how I felt. I had to bite my tongue a little bit because there was a contest. They were giving away $100,000 to one lucky Gladiator launch edition owner who submitted the best video, and I really hammed it up. I got out my Wagoneer, pet Frank the dog, and talked about all the things I was going to do with my Gladiator if I got that $100,000, but I didn't win. So now I can talk about how I really feel about Jeep and how they handled this launch, but the truck itself is amazing. And the dealer I worked with was equally amazing. Remember, this isn't my Jeep. This is Clay's Jeep. This is supposed to be Clay's personal dealer vehicle to show off the Gladiator to everyone in town, but since he slid down the banister and shattered his elbow, he's really not doing a whole lot. And when he offered it to me, I feigned as much sympathy that I could, but I definitely said yes while the medication was probably still affecting his judgment. And now I have a Gladiator Launch Edition Rubicon. So if you're wanting to buy a Gladiator Launch Edition just like this one, same color, same options, same everything, it'll be coming into Robbins Motors soon, maybe in a week, maybe 2, maybe 3. And the window sticker will actually have my name on it. It'll say built specifically for me, but I didn't take it. I took this one. Now, just to clear the air, the Gladiator Launch Edition does not cost any more than a well-equipped Gladiator Rubicon. If you order a Gladiator Rubicon with all the same options, it will cost exactly the same. The reason these are so expensive, $62,000 some odd dollars, is because it has every option. Now, the Launch Edition does have a few special touches like the black wheels and the red stitch dashboard and the little badge on the back, but otherwise it is a normal Gladiator Rubicon. Now, a lot of people have said $62,000, $63,000. That buys you a new Ford Raptor, and believe me, I know this, but I wanted a Gladiator Rubicon because I wanted a mid-size pickup truck with full-size capabilities. Now, when I say mid-size, this really isn't the mid-size of old. It's not even close to the same size as the old Jeep Comanche or a Ford Ranger from the 90s or a Dodge Dakota. This really is about the size of a full-size pickup truck in the mid-90s. And it's the perfect size. I can actually park it in parking lots. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a giant whale. Normally, I like land yachts, but pickup trucks are just so big when they don't need to be big necessarily, especially if you have towing capability. Despite being smaller, which really isn't that small, and having a lowly V6 that puts out a little less than 300 horsepower, this truck can tow 7,000 pounds. That's more than enough for me to tow a small trailer with a broken hoopty on it, which is why I always feel like I've needed a reliable, newer pickup truck. I'm also a die-hard Jeep fan. As you can see, I have the Jurassic Park Jeep. I also have a Grand Wagon here. And I love how they integrated classic Jeep styling engineering into a thoroughly modern and fresh feeling vehicle. I love the technology in this thing because it's not technology necessarily for the sake of technology. I love General Motors pickup trucks, but you don't need a tailgate that folds down into a staircase basically like an escalator. That's just gonna fill up with dirt and rust and break. Same as those little storage bins on the side of Dodge trucks inside of the rear quarters, which Dodge already has a huge problems with fenders rusting, yet now they put storage bins in them so water can get in and just rust them out quicker. Just about every cool bit of technology in this Gladiator makes sense to have in a really hardcore off-road vehicle. Things you found in Range Rover recently with their infotainment system, like forward-facing trail cameras, backup cameras. Here in the instrument cluster, which has gauges like an old-school Jeep, you can toggle over to the pitch and roll of your Gladiator Rubicon, which doesn't have the doors on it. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, like all Rubicons, you have sway bar disconnects and lockers for your front and rear differential, which is something you find in a Range Rover or a G-Wagon, but not in a cheaper priced vehicle like this. I say cheaper, but really it's not cheaper. This thing's really expensive, but in comparison to a G-Wagon and a Range Rover, this is a pretty good deal. Plus, I got a pickup bed. Well, maybe there is one thing that they really didn't need to put in here. Probably they should have so Doug DeMuro could squeal when he pushed the button and it cleans the front trail camera. It's pretty cool. I'm also really drawn to this Jeep because it combines two of my favorite cars from my past. I had a 2001 Dodge Dakota Sport, had a 4.7 liter V8 with 245 horsepower, I think, at the time, which I thought was a lot. And then I also had a 2004 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. But anyway, I've got a Gladiator now, and clearly there are a lot of reasons to love the Gladiator and to buy one. But nothing that I described before is the real reason that I bought it. The real reason is because this is a true convertible pickup truck. Yes, the roof ski comes completely off ski, just like a Wrangler. And it actually looks like it's going to be easier than a Wrangler Unlimited because the cab is smaller. You don't have the extra cargo space with the extra windows, so I'm pretty sure I can manage this back part of the top completely by itself. The front top is just regular T-tops, just like a Wrangler. Also, you can take the doors off just like a Jeep, and Jeep is kind enough to provide a toolkit for you so you can do all of this yourself. They even give you a cool little storage thing for the bolts. Every single bolt that you can remove from this Gladiator Rubicon fits into this holy thingy here. The bolts for the doors, the bolts for the roof, and the bolts to take down the windshield. So now we're going to take the roof off the Gladiator, the roof off the Gladiator, and let's see how long it takes and then how it looks as a convertible. It's very exciting. Handy little designer bag for your T-tops, which now I can be a runway model with my designer bag here. Okay. Canvas comes in really handy. I don't have to worry about scratching it. Okay. And now down we go. Whoa. Ooh. Boom shakalaka. Okay. So with my limited strength, I was able to manage that by myself. I could keep going and take off the doors and fold down the windshield if I wanted to and really have a modern Jeep pickup truck with the DNA of a Jeep from 1941. It's just absolutely amazing. As for my plans for this thing, it's been a little agonizing watching other YouTubers like Stradman buy a Jeep weeks ago and then he's able to lift it, put giant tires on it, wrap it, and now he's already driven it cross country up to a place that's going to put in a Hellcat motor. But as for me, I'm not sure if I'm going to do any of that. Really, this Jeep is so close to perfect as is, I don't see why I would need to. Other than the fact that aftermarket Jeep suppliers always come out with cool, shiny objects that you kind of have to buy. So even though this is a brand new Jeep, I'll probably end up spending money on it just like my Hoovies. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Hey, hey.